Greetings and Hotep. I am very happy to be here at FAMU. I'm extremely happy to be here as we focus on the works of Dr. Amos Wilson, who is a personal hero of mine. I'm also happy to be here because I have a daughter who attends here, and it gives me and my wife an opportunity to come to check on her. So the title of my paper presentation is Awakening Natural Genius in Black Children Workshop. It's a workshop that we created in Chicago with being motivated by the title of Dr. Wilson's work and just looking at that title and seeing how we can take his work and be practical with it. I'm not an academic or a scholar, but someone who works in the community. And our community is in need of the wisdom of Dr. Wilson now more than any other time. And I just want to share with you what we're doing with this particular piece, Awakening Natural Genius in Black Children. Again, this is a workshop. It's a 4 to 6 hour workshop that is targeted toward our young people, ages of 12 students, ages of 12 to the age of the students here in this classroom, in this auditorium. And so I'd like to share that with you. I'm again reading a little bit from my paper, then I go into the PowerPoint. In the development of psychology of the black child, and again in Awakening Natural Genius of Black Children, Dr. Wilson provides powerful empirical evidence of intellectual abilities unique to African black children that's present at birth, that occur in other children much later in their development. He called this native proclivity a natural genius, a natural quote-unquote head start. And I quote him, he says, African children's intellectual potential is second to none. In fact, neonatal and early childhood research not only definitely indicate that the African child's intellectual and behavioral capacities are equal of the child from any other ethnic group, but they may be significantly more advanced. That is, black children seem to have been given a natural head start in intellectual and behavioral abilities, unquote. If this is so, how do we develop this genius? What happens to this natural head start? Why is it not revealed in our children and our communities now? The answers to these questions are contained in the above aforementioned titles. Our emphasis is that the current state of educational unachievement, that with the current state of educational unachievement, there are some who think that our children's genius potential has been destroyed and that we must write off yet another generation of black children. However, in this paper, we attempt to make the argument that in a workshop setting with young black children utilizing Dr. Amos Wilson's premise that there's a natural genius residing in our children from birth and connecting it to a profound purpose of black survival and empowerment, we can bring these children to a point where they will desire to awaken and develop their own genius potential. In Awakening Natural Genius of Black Children, Dr. Wilson asserts that the natural head start in black children can be squandered if appropriate activity is not brought into the black child's life to assist him or her in actualizing that genius. I quote Dr. Wilson. Thus, it is undoubtedly clear that the African child, whether in Africa, the Americas, the Caribbean, or elsewhere, is very amply prepared by nature to respond adaptively to the intellectual, social, psychological, physical, and behavioral demands of his environment. Obviously, if he or she is appropriately stimulated, motivated, guided, and supported, he or she is perfectly capable of attaining the intellectual heights equal or superior to the children of any other ethnic group. It is with the appropriate stimulation, motivation, guidance, and support where the promise or problem of intellectual, behavioral, social, and general personality development of the black child lies. The quote-unquote natural head start of African children is too often thwarted, stagnated, negated, or reversed by inappropriate or inadequateness of these seminal factors. That is, the natural head start of many, if not most black children, does not continue beyond early childhood. If we are to look at the educational reality of our present situation, we could share Dr. Wilson's conclusion that the majority of black children, this has been the case. However, in understanding these quote-unquote seminal factors, we believe that the appropriate intervention, like the one that we were outlining below, can provide the stimulation, motivation, and guidance in the black child at any age needed for them to reach their own genius. This workshop grew out of a call to have a study group to study the works of Dr. Wilson. We formed the Dr. Amos Book Club. We met at the Carruthers Center of Inner City Studies in Chicago. As many people, scholars here will know that the Carruthers Center of Inner City Studies is a hotbed of scholar activism in Chicago, and that has national repercussions and reverberations throughout the nation coming out of that institution. The Black student organization there, the Mutatu Collective, hosted our class. We began with the Amos Book Club, which is a psycho-political education class focusing on the goal of getting back to black. And I'll explain what getting back to black means in a second. One of our projects is the Awakening Activities and Black Children Workshop, where we proclaim that our children are our saviors. This is very important. We say that our children are our future, our children are our saviors, but most of the time when we talk about our children, we're talking about them in a negative light. We must cease that and begin to speak the reality that our children are our saviors, and then prepare them to do just that. Also, one of the projects that we produced out of the Amos Wilson Institute is the Kemetic Communities League. The Kemetic Communities League is taken after the UNIA African Communities League, which was a business arm of the Marcus Garvey movement. And so, as Dr. Wilson teaches us, as black nationalists, we have to be dealing with brick and mortar. We have to be building businesses. We have to show that nationalism is an answer to our situation and be able to demonstrate that. And out of the Kemetic Communities League, I'm going to just touch on that very quickly, because this is a paper that I also wanted to present but didn't have the time. How do we gain control of the $1.1 trillion that are available to us and use them in our own interest and for our own advancement? And Dr. Wilson talks about this in the psychology of black economics and black economic behavior. And we at the Amos Wilson Institute, we have a desire to create a black communal business degree program. My background is in business. I have an MBA, which, as Dr. Wilson has said often, it is a degree into servitude. They teach you how to serve white interests. And so I'm $60,000 in debt, and all I can do with it is go and serve white corporate interests, but I do own my own business. But the goal is to create a black communal business degree program that teaches our people how to deal with the $1.1 trillion that's in our community. In order for us to do that, black psychology is going to have to play a huge role in that. As we know, in any business, whether it's advertising, marketing, promotions, and sales, psychology plays a huge role in shaping the behavior patterns, buying patterns of the people. And so we are going to really address this $1.1 trillion in our community. Black psychology has to play a key role in that. What would be the goals of this black communal business degree program? How do we provide full employment for our people? Because everybody is not going to create a job. It's not going to be an entrepreneur. So how do we provide full employment? How do we amass power with our wealth in our community? How do we create wealth opportunities for our people? How do we control the politics and the policy? Dr. Wilson tells us that it's the business community that owns the politicians. And if we don't have a strong business economic community, then no politician, whether they're black, white, or whatever, is going to create policy and politics to favor our position. And so we have this business degree program would even control the politics and policy in our community. How would this degree program shape new values, new buying values, new consumer values in our community? How will it increase the skill base? How will it enhance technique? How will it end the foreign monopolies in our community? In Chicago, there are 5 Arab families that control 5,000 stores, retail stores in our community. Every liquor store, every neighborhood food mart, every gas station are owned by Arabs. Every beauty supply store is owned by Koreans. There's a foreign domination retail monopoly in our communities. That is the goal of a black business degree program, is how to end those foreign monopolies. How do we determine and direct productive output? Should we be directing all of our output on beauty products? All of our economic output on beauty products? One of the first things we should probably start doing is manufacturing some small farming implements so we can begin to feed ourselves. But a black business degree program would determine what we begin to produce as a people. And that also would eradicate poverty. To get back to this